158 days left in the year. Good morning, MD, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country, the most anticipated movies of 2026 Part 2. The General Assembly is in session, and we will talk about AI slop. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, roaring Mach 9 with her hair on fire is my beautiful wife. The beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Your hair does seem to be kind of on fire. Like you made about 4 trips back and forth between your chair when you entered the studio. So you have several. You might not know the term. Has AI slop come under the radar of Vandelay Industries yet?
I don't know.
Are you familiar with that term?
I guess not.
We're going to talk about it later on in the show. We'll all learn together. Over there in chair number 3, we say good morning and welcome back to Grayson County Extension Services Ag Agent. She is Miss Whitney Carmen. Morning.
Morning.
Welcome back.
I'm glad to be here.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
You all sailed through the holidays pretty well?
We did. It was good. It was a good break.
Had some downtime?
Yes, finally. For a minute.
Then got thrown into the deep end. Did you all go back to school Monday or
no,
Tuesday?
We went Tuesday.
Okay,
yeah, I went back Monday. Our office opened Monday, and the rest of the family went back Tuesday, and they're all feeling it today.
Yeah, I bet. It's. I checked on Alea yesterday after the end of the first day. How was the first day back? Good.
Yeah.
I talked to her too. Because I wasn't home last night. I talked to her too, but she had a hard time going to sleep the night before. She told me.
Yes.
So
well, and
when we get her today, I have
Yeah.
a feeling it's going to be crash and burn.
Well, and it is one of those. It's the week. They start back and everything starts back. Sports starts back heavy again, and it's like whoa. They're drinking from fire hose. So.
Well, and so you're also our morning routine so completely different for a couple of weeks, and the kids are that way with the school,
yes.
etc. And so, and it's New Year, so people are trying to do different things. But here are a couple of things that apparently you should do at night if you want to be happier in the morning. And the first one is take an evening walk.
When I'm home, we try to, yes, because we take the dog out.
Sure, dog needs to go. So I don't know if it's
That's
the dog
nice.
walking the owner or the owner walking the dog,
Yeah,
but
depends.
they both get their steps in. My even though it's indoor, my walk is typically later on in the afternoon or in the early evening hours. So making time for that. Put your phone down, ideally in another room.
We have been trying to do that as well.
Then you'll need another type of alarm clock if you're going to do that.
I had done that with my kids. I actually bought them other alarm clocks because the phones stay downstairs when they go to bed.
it's a good
I
idea.
don't blame you.
Good
Yes,
idea.
but
Take a warm bath or shower. A lot of people do that as part of their routine
I had a
anyway.
night shower, yeah.
Do a body scan. Just kind of check things out on the day. Who knows? Even as warm as it's been, there have even been ticks out like this. Late in the fall.
Are you talking body scan physically or body scan like mentally? Because I will sit down and we will hash out the day.
We'll get to
typically.
that one.
Okay.
The next one is reflect on the day.
Okay.
Basically, look through and do the remains of the day, and then end your day with gratitude. Before you go to sleep, kind of mentally come up with 3 to 5 things that you're thankful for on the day. Changes your mood and maybe alters your trajectory on the way that you wake up the next morning. So maybe those are some things that might help. One of the things that's helping me is that there are spring-like temperatures around to end our week. We're going to see morning clouds. There was a little bit of fog this morning. Going to see plenty of afternoon sunshine. In fact, we have plenty of it at the moment. Highs in the 50s today. We may get into the 60-degree mark for us. We'll see a cloudy Thursday before rain and storms return. Longer term, showers and thunderstorms continue Friday, then colder air coming back in for the weekend. But enjoy it while it lasts. Be able to get some outdoor projects completed. It's been interesting to see. It's as if the grass is like it's the month of May. Like the grass is suddenly green again.
It felt like spring this morning.
It rained. It got warm. It's been nice. A boil water advisory was issued yesterday for a section of South Main Street in Litchfield. A water line repair on yesterday caused an interruption to water services for a short time. Customers from 402 South Main Street to 520 South Main Street are impacted under a BWA until that is lifted. It's a real short section of town, but a populated portion of town. The Venezuela situation continues to dominate much of the national news headlines. President Trump said yesterday that Venezuela would be providing 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the United States, and he pledged to use the proceeds from the sale of this oil to benefit the people of both countries. They are organizing a meeting on Friday with U.S. oil company executives to discuss Venezuela and what they're going to do about revitalizing the oil industry. It is a very rich area with from an oil deposit standpoint, but their production is very limited. In fact, they just do about 10% daily of what the United States does. So while the oil is there, their infrastructure for the drilling and the capturing of the oil and gas is not sufficient, and so that's what they're going to try and work with Conoco and all the oil companies, Exxon, et cetera, and try and get them to rebuild the rigs, try to bring them up to a suitable level that is needed to get that production at a higher level. The other thing that it is so funny to see the inconsistencies in a guy like Chuck Schumer, who was just criticizing that Maduro was still in power just a very short period of time, blaming the president, blaming President Trump then that Maduro was still there. Why didn't they go in and get him? Then they go in and get him, and they say, well, why did you go in and get him? So it's just a matter of, I heard someone say earlier in the week that the president could come up with a cure for cancer on live television, and there's a percentage of people who would figure out there was something wrong with it and blame him for doing it. And so that's one of the biggest problems in our country right now, is that we're just so divided and polarized. You just, no, I'm not willing to entertain or give credit to the other side for doing anything correctly. One of the things that this does, it brings more stability. If you can get Venezuela back online and get the people of Venezuela flourishing, then you get Cuba. Cuba's more likely to be in check. Colombia is more likely to be in check. So that's what they're going for here. And, of course, the other big thing yesterday was Marco Rubio says that we're going to try and buy Greenland. The president hasn't ruled out stronger force in trying to get Greenland. So I doubt we go in, but it'll be interesting to see if Greenland ends up being a territory of the United States at some point. There's a story at K105.com today that I think you might enjoy. It's one of those good news stories that sometimes don't land in front of your face because they don't get churned around as much. But it's a story about Melinda Baum, who is a social studies teacher at Grayson County High School. She has received an honor from the Daughters of the American Revolution as Kentucky's Outstanding Teacher of American History. That's on the statewide level. And now she goes to the national level, where she will be considered for an award. Anyway, a great story. I read she credited her love of history to her third grade teacher, Rita Gallagher, who was also my third grade teacher. And then she goes on at the high school level. She gives credit to Bill Lee, and I didn't have Coach Lee, but obviously knew him and know him well. So anyway, it was fun to see her. She started teaching in, I think, Shawnee Academy in Louisville, and then came back to Grayson County High School around 2018 or so. Anyway, congratulations to Melinda Baum. And again, you can read that story at K105.com. The General Assembly gavelled into regular session yesterday. It marked the first day of the General Assembly, and both the House and Senate were in session for only about half an hour. They passed resolutions establishing membership of the season, some rules, etc. They invited clergy in for both chambers to offer prayers on the session that is ahead. They also had, I've never paid close enough attention to do this, but while the House was in recess or not in session, the clerk read 3 impeachment petitions that were submitted by citizens while they were not in session, and it will have to be investigated by members. One is for a Supreme Court Justice, Pamela Goodwine. One is for the Ballard County jailer, and one is for the Marshall County family court judge. So I didn't realize that's how they do that. So they had to read them officially to begin the session, and then they will do their investigation, et cetera, from there. It appears that during this session, our lawmakers will also take into consideration strengthening or maybe more clearly defining the Phone Down Kentucky Act. We have it's illegal to text and drive here in the Commonwealth, but they are trying to emulate what some other states have done, is that complete hands-free use of your cellular device, and they have sought some language from the Transportation Cabinet to help more clearly define and make it practical in use and in enforcement. Sounds like there will be a carve out for if you're doing GPS navigation, emergencies, and I believe law enforcement gets an exemption on this as well. But don't be surprised if this becomes topic of conversation. I am having a very hard time reading the way the wind is blowing with the legislature on this issue. Once we pass the law making it illegal to text and drive, we've got many lawbreakers still obviously involved in that, but it is at least is against the law and is enforceable. I don't know if we have an appetite to go further, but I know that other states have, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't do the same. It makes it a little bit hard for Kentuckians, because if you drive into Tennessee and you have your phone in your hand, like is legal to do in Kentucky, you're all of a sudden in violation of the law in Tennessee, and you may find yourself getting pulled over, and you're not understanding why until they tell you, hey, you can't have your phone in your hand in the state of Tennessee. So anyway, that might be one of the things on the legislative horizon. Yesterday, the Transportation Cabinet announced that Kentucky's mobile ID is now available, and I must tell you that I had to be one of the immediate adopters of this yesterday, because I happened to be at my desk when the Transportation Cabinet sent out the release that the mobile ID is available for Kentuckians now. We're one of about 18 states, and it is accepted by TSA. So if you don't have a passport and you have a real ID, you now can present your real ID on your phone to TSA, and it is acceptable at more than 250 airports. I do want to, it takes about 5 minutes or so. You need your physical license in order to do it. You will download either at the Google Play Store or through the Apple Store, the App Store. It's Kentucky Mobile ID. If you just search for Kentucky Mobile ID, you'll see it. You'll also see some other states. When you see the other states with them, you'll kind of know you're on the right one. It's a yellow color, which is odd for Kentucky to use, but the app is a yellowish color. You log in. It's got two-factor authentication, so you'll have to tell it your phone number. They send you a text. They verify. Then you have to take a picture of the front and back of your driver's license. Then they do a facial scan, the deal where you have to lift and do that whole thing. And so it verifies that it's your face that matches your driver's license. And then it puts it behind, whether it's your PIN or your Face ID or whatever, so that if your phone is lost, your information is not available to those. Now, one caveat that I do want to point out. The law enforcement community was quick to say that if you're driving a car or a truck or a whatever, you still need your physical driver's license on your person. So this might work for TSA, but don't think that it works for law enforcement in the same way that your digital proof of insurance, they might give you some grace on that, but technically you're supposed to have a hard copy on that as well. So don't want you to get caught without your driver's license when you're out on the Kentucky roads. Cougars were victorious last night on the road at Madisonville North Hopkins in a big way. Jack and Spencer both having big nights. And now they will get ready for Butler County as a part of a doubleheader on Friday night at Grayson County High School. So the Cougars improve on their record. And then over in Pikeville, I know this is typically a story that you might think would come out of Florida. You see those stories, you go, oh yeah, of course this happened in Florida, because everything weird happens in Florida. But this happened in Pikeville. Christopher Millette of Martin County here in Kentucky faces auto theft charges after taking his ex-girlfriend's vehicle while she delivered their child at a Pikeville hospital on Friday. Police say Millette arrived to witness the birth, but was asked to wait in the car's passenger seat due to hospital visitation rules. I know they're doing some visitation restrictions right now, but I didn't realize they were eliminating fathers from visiting. But says that security footage revealed Millette exited the passenger side, moved to the driver's seat, and drove away with the vehicle. When his ex-girlfriend called about asking about her car's location, he reportedly told her it was none of her business where her vehicle was before ending the call. Well, as it turns out, law enforcement has decided it is some of her business on where her car is, and he was arrested on Saturday and charged with auto theft. Well, there's a look at him. You give an idea of kind of like, is that a smirk?
I think
I don't know what a frown. I'm not sure what you call that facial expression, but anyway, doing poor things over in Pikeville. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around. You're on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Discover the power of peace with Blanton Electric's Generac automatic standby generators. Tailored for those who refuse to be left in the dark, these generators promise unmatched reliability when the power grid fails. Enjoy flexible financing options and the assurance of seamless energy. And with Blanton Electric, you receive more than just power. You get Troy's expertise and a free quote, serving Grayson County and beyond with Generac generators. Call 270-723-0838 or visit BlantonElectricINC.com.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart. 270-259-5604. GraysonCPAs.com.
Not everyone's cut out for the open road. Some folks like the steady 9 to 5. Others crave the call of the wild or the unpredictability of a snowstorm. That's where Youngblood Excavating steps in. If you've got a Class A or B CDL and ADOT medical certificate, we need you for our snowplow team. Part-time on-call November through April. Answer the call and earn $32.50 per hour. If you're up for the challenge, contact Youngblood Excavating on Facebook. Drive with purpose. Drive with Youngblood. Call 270-804-3999.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that begin January 12th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Okay, babe, this new home insurance, I'm bugging out.
Why did you say bugging? Ah! And why are you bugging?
I don't know what I'm doing. Why aren't you bugging?
Because we just need a State Farm agent. That's what they do. They help people understand their insurance and not bug out about it. Ah! And they're like there when you need them. Now quit bugging and say the jingle.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Call Doodah Hudson State Farm in Litchfield, 270-287-0287.
Meta is broadening its AI footprint after purchasing a Singapore startup company. The Wall Street Journal confirms the Facebook parent agreed to acquire Manus at the end of last year. The company, according to them, develops autonomous AI agents capable of executing real-world tasks. Last year, Mark Zuckerberg said Meta was on an AI spending spree. Apple is slashing production of the Vision Pro after weaker-than-expected holiday sales. Only 45,000 new units of Apple's VR headset shipped in the last quarter of 2025. That's well below projections. The price tag could be a factor as the headset retails for just under $3,500. Now, reports are that Apple's Chinese manufacturing partner Luxshare halted production at the beginning of last year after underwhelming 2024 shipments. And the first major tech expo of the year is taking over Las Vegas. CES 2026 kicks off today. The annual trade show, formerly known as the Consumer Electronics Show, promises to bring a look at what the future may hold with new products and trends taking center stage. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
But on the midnight watch, I realized why twice you ran away.
Today is Bobblehead Day. I kind of thought I'd have a bobblehead of myself by now, but come up short in that area. It is also Orthodox Christmas Day. Many countries, including East and Central Europe, both Eastern Orthodox churches and Oriental Orthodox churches, still use the old Julian calendar, so that makes it Christmas. And then it's Tempura Day, celebrating the Japanese cooking tradition of dipping seafood or vegetables in a thin batter of flour and water and then frying them in oil. I like tempura, but I don't like tempura in sushi. You do.
I do.
I like it just by itself. I prefer it. I don't necessarily like the fried aspect of the of sushi. Whitney, where are you on tempura? You in or out?
Yeah, I can eat it. It's not something I'm gonna like reach for, but yes, if it's there, I'll eat it.
Yeah, I like it.
Top of the show, I mentioned AI slop. Slop was the Merriam-Webster word of the year, and it refers to low-quality digital content produced by artificial intelligence delivered to consumers via social media. And this is the trend of your social media feed. I don't care what platform it is.
I know what you're talking about.
Is filled
Yes.
with these really slick-looking products and, high quality. And then when they get to you,
They are not.
they are not near I call it kind of like the Temu principle.
Yeah.
It looks really great in the ad slicks. Like they spend a lot of time making it look good, but it is inferior. Kind of like when you order a swimsuit from Mod Lily and it arrives and you're the one who has to do the sewing.
And you can't even figure it out, and your grandmother, who was a seamstress for years, can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's happened a lot. It happened with Taylor's mother-in-law. It happened on a Christmas tree. Yeah, she thought she was getting something like Balsam Hill quality, and it was not near
Charlie
that.
Brown.
So yes, and what's happening now is all the gift exchanges have come. In your social media feed, you're seeing like these T-shirts. It says like Carmen family, and then it's got a motto, and then so everybody sees one different. Like I don't see one for the Carmens, I see one for the Buckles, or the monogrammed mugs, or the this or the that. Well, this AI slop shows up, and it gets given as gifts at Christmas. Well, now suddenly it's landing on the shelves of Vandalay Industries and other thrift stores because people are like, well, I don't want this junk. And then there's become a trend online also where people are, admitting where they got, especially the older the generation is, the more likely they are to be duped by this. And they're sort of showing, well, here's what I bought and here's what I got.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they're kind of being, they're laughing about it, going like, well,
I think that's what we should all do, right?
they really got me here. So
Yeah.
Well, and you can see too, there's on the same thing with products, the way AI will change the way people look on their features as well.
Listen, I commented on the very first one that I saw, like the Christmas photos that everybody did,
Yes.
and I was like, "Wowza, wow!" Because I hadn't seen this person in so long. I was like,
No, it's-
"Holy
it's
smokes!"
My news feed through the Christmas
Yes.
holiday was just pictures of
And
people's AI form of,
I started catching on. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Wait a minute!"
the first one got me.
It did.
And
yeah,
then the
first
second one,
got
I
me.
was sort of like,
Wait a minute.
will they go to they use the same
Yeah, I know, it's
photographer?
like, did I miss something?
You can see the black under my eyes. You know that's a real
I'm
photo
like,
for Christmas Day.
dude. I was like, I did. I commented,
Bedhead.
"Wowza."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you like him smoking? I mean, and oh yeah, and then all these people. I was like, okay, something's up. I missed the memo.
So as we set sail into the new year, and we try and envision all the things, people set goals on things they would like for to happen, and then they try to anticipate things that could happen or are likely to happen. And we've found there's no better source for predicting the future than The Simpsons.
Oh, yes.
Well, so far.
Have you seen? Yes.
So they have come up with some pretty solid ones. A Donald Trump presidency long before it was ever even considered, being one of the more famous of them. But in season 23, episode 17, Them Robot, instead of I Robot, this is where AI starts to take over the jobs of people in Springfield. It's a 2012 episode, sees Mr. Burns replacing his employees with robots. who turn on him and then his laid off workers to have to come to the rescue, and then everything is triumphant. According to Chat GPT findings, found that artificial intelligence and automation could wipe out nearly 100 million jobs in the United States over the next decade, including white and blue collar roles. I'm not as doom and gloom on this, I think, as others are, because the jobs will just change.
Yes.
You know, we used to pick all of our food by hand, and then we stopped picking food by hand. We're using mechanical to do it, most of it. There's still obviously things that are picked by hand. But we still kept getting more and more people on the planet, meaning there's still employment opportunities. So I think employment opportunities are going to shift. They will look different than they do currently, but AI will just replace a lot of it. However, there is one thing to notice. The agricultural revolution unfolded over thousands of years. You know, farming is either the first or second oldest profession, depending upon how you want to look at it. The Industrial Revolution took more than a century. They think that AI will reshape in a decade.
Yes.
So thousands of years on farming, a century for industrial development. The IT boom, like the digital age, is probably a 25-year, and then AI will take us to a completely different level in less than 10 years. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
The Simpsons also had a 1994 episode titled Deep Space Homer that predicted the rise of space travel for the general population. We saw the first round of that in 2025. What others that they have? Super flu strain. They predicted basically COVID-19 in one of theirs. And so they are trying to figure out, in season 13, episode 1, Treehouse of Horror 12, the Simpson family moves into a voice-controlled house that manages their day-to-day lives, but the longer they live there, the more threatening the smart home becomes. These are all things that have or are coming true. So, who needs Nostradamus? Just go back and watch the Simpsons archive to get an idea of the things that might be on the horizon for us.
Yeah, it's
So,
kind of crazy.
It is unbelievable. And I guess it's not that far of a stretch. Say there are plenty of things, there are plenty of episodes they dream up things that haven't happened or won't happen, but nonetheless, I don't know. So New Year, Whitney, do you feel like years go fast now?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're what age?
I am approaching 40.
Okay. Well, just wait till you get 54.
Yeah.
And I would imagine just wait until I get 74 of the sense of why the years go by so much faster. And scientists say, they have done a study and say that time really does go by faster the older that you get. Most of us can remember how time felt like an eternity when we were kids. I mean, summer break felt like it went on forever when I was a kid, and now Memorial Day to Labor Day feels like about 2 weeks.
Yes.
Christmas break used to feel like it was long. It does not feel long any longer. Scientists theorize that it is likely due in part to regular age-related changes in the brain. One scientist explains that it's simply a function of the fact that when we're young, our brains are trained to take in as much new information as possible. When we're older, our brains do the opposite. We've already learned a ton of stuff, so it affects our perception of time. It says time seems to go by much faster when we're older because of a lack of new experiences.
I don't know that I necessarily think it's lack of new experiences. I think it's that I think it's opposite. I feel like my time is flying right now because I'm so busy raising my kids and doing my job that, I don't have a lot of time to maybe explore, but I am doing new things every day.
Right. It says there's a theory by this scientist says the more new experiences a person has, the slower time seems to move. For example, it's why a month full of constantly shocking news headlines resulted in everyone joking that the past month was the longest year of our lives.
Yeah.
And I often say about COVID. COVID either felt like it was 10 years or 6 months, depending upon how you look at it, because looking back on it. Then there's that old joke on that 30 Rock. There's one of the characters that would say, "Oh, what a week." And they'd say, "It's only Wednesday." Like, yeah. So it kind of gives you a different perception. Also, they're doing a new experiment involving Alfred Hitchcock clips, and it helps explain a phenomenon. It says, so what's actually happening in the brain to produce this altered time perception? Researchers at Cambridge University conducted a study of the results of an earlier experiment that measured brain activity using MRI scans of subjects aged 18 to 88, watched an old episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents called Bang, You're Dead. And that particular episode had been shown to elicit the most consistent responses in viewers' brains. And when Cambridge analyzed the MRI scans, they noticed a distinct pattern that older viewers' brains shifted to new activity states far less frequently, but for much longer duration than younger subjects. That's kind of over my head on understanding that, but they say they can tell by the brain activity that there's just a difference in the way that we process the very same information. So maybe there's something to it. Or
Is that why we get wiser as we get older? Because we process things different?
maybe. I think, wisdom is the process of knowing what to do with knowledge, the proper use of knowledge. The younger you are, you probably have less wisdom just because you have less knowledge to process and you have less life experience. But the brain's a funny thing. Like when you call one kid the other kid's name.
Hey, I've really started doing that.
Oh, yeah. I used to laugh at my mom, but I even call my daughter my sister's name because we have a lot of C's in our family. I don't know.
Alea got called Taylor the other day,
Yeah.
but it was because I had just been talking about Taylor or there was something going on, so that when I said, hey, I was going to say Alea. But scientists say that it's okay. Even psychologists say that it's okay. But you'll notice that I would never call one of our children Whitney, but I would call one of the children the other child's name. I might even call Gertie a child's name.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because of the categories. So things that are in like folders, if you think of your brain like a filing cabinet, and you open the drawer and you open the file, your children are going to be in the same folder. So your brain can easily grab the one piece of paper instead of the other piece of paper because they're next to one another. You wouldn't grab one from two different drawers.
Right. And even so with the boys and the girls, like I don't call Caroline Jackson, but I will call Silas Jackson or Jackson Silas all of the time, at least once a day.
Right. Well, remember when Ross said Rachel instead of Emily?
Yeah.
They are in the same, so they're not siblings,
Right.
but they're in the same category in Ross's mind. And so they say that it's understandable. You should just, it's just the brain.
It's going to happen.
It's just the brain doing what the brain does. Whitney, you told me before the show that you sort of spent some downtime and reorganizing and cleansing and that type of thing over the break. Any new rules that you all have adopted for this year for the?
Well, not necessarily new rules we've adopted. We're just trying to critique and get better at the ones that we do have.
Okay.
And so it's, I realized over Christmas break, I realized why my mom was kind of in a bad mood sometimes during Christmas.
Right?
Okay. And so
really
I
think
just made
people
the
don't understand.
I made the comment to my children the day after Christmas that sometimes that in life we just come to expect things and that is not their job. So they're going to have to still earn their keep around the house. So we are doing, so we're going back to the whole, like, we're going to do our chores because that's what we're supposed to do in order, we're a team in this family.
I like that.
So we're doing that, and we're getting back on we've cut back on the electronics, and we've cut back on just trying to refresh and kind of do more family things because we are realizing that our children are not getting any younger and that their time at our home is less. And so I'm trying to soak up as much time as possible.
You
with
get a
them.
smiley face by your name today for the parenting tactics because in the first 40 minutes of the show, you have already identified the top 2 non-negotiable rules that parents should give their kids on a list of 8. Number 1 was no phones or electronics in the bedroom at night. That came up organically earlier. You mentioned that.
Yes.
Number 2, everyone does chores, no exceptions.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's like, this is your
Well,
job.
It's a team. There are 5 of you in this house, or 5 of us in this house, and don't expect mom to take care of everybody's needs because mom has her own things that she has to do as well. And so that includes husband. And so, and we're a team, we do things, but it's nice to have that refresher of we go through and we clean out. It's the only time of the year that we have all together to just go through some things. We do it, and now it's a fresh start. we're gonna, try to start the new year fresh.
There should be, and there are age appropriate chores for most everyone.
Yeah.
Most every age you can find some small chore, and I think if you start doing it early, it's easier to add them later because it's just
I
going
have
to be
read
understood.
that. I have read somebody was reading a book and it said if you just include your like your toddlers and your little ones in on the chores, they won't think of them as a chore. They just think that they're helping, and
That's
they
what
really
they're
enjoy it.
supposed-
Yeah.
And even we're at a point with Alea. She's now cooking things, and that's come up on the show because I said recently that we hadn't had a fire extinguisher in the kitchen until she wanted to start cooking. I was like, we need a fire extinguisher,
Yeah, sure.
because you just never know. But on Monday, she decided she wanted to make her own breakfast, and so did you stage it for her?
No.
But she staged it herself.
I mean, I pulled out the pan. I set out the cooking spray.
But she fried 3 eggs. She made her own toast. She put it all away, and she was so proud of herself.
Yeah. My problem is the putting it away part of our. My kids can do that. They just do not clean up after themselves, and that to me, that's my thing. Is you do it, and then you clean it up.
Well,
Clean it
she
up
struggles with that, but you could tell that there was an additional because I watched her. I was eating. It was lunch for me, breakfast for her. But
I love Christmas
she put the toaster away. She tied the bread up. She took it back to the pantry, etc. But just her tone when she said all finished,
Yeah.
you could tell she's like,
So
I
proud
even
of herself.
remembered to clean stuff up.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it helps. The must answer rule. Cell phones and kids have become ubiquitous. So
Yes.
the rule is, mom calls, dad calls, you answer, and if you can't, call or text in a reasonable amount of time. Don't just be ghosting.
That was my number one rule when my kids got their phones. Is that I don't care what you're doing. If it's, now the school situation, that they can't have them at school. That's
Sure.
different. I will text and say when you can get or when you get out of school or whatever, call me. But if they're out and about, if I call and you don't answer, I
It's
better have a
on.
text message very soon saying, "Hey, I'm doing this. I'll call you back."
And it's
You know.
not, by the way, psychologists are saying it's not about control.
No, it's just it's a respect thing.
And it's a security base for them
Yes.
because you're creating a security base when they're not around. And you use school as the example. You have ceded the safety and security of your children to the school system
Sure.
during those hours. So you don't expect to be able to need to
Right.
get a phone call or a text during that time. But otherwise, when you're on ultimate watch or the only person on watch, then
And I don't consider myself a parent that is going to overrule my children and do what like when they're out and about, like I usually try to let them do their thing. And, because right now there is a level of trust there, but I still expect the respect. If I'm paying for the phone and you ask for the phone and it's a communication device at the end of the day, I expect,
Right.
reciprocation on
expect communication.
Yeah.
Meeting certain standards before considering sleepovers.
that.
Is the child ready for this? Are you exposing them to things? Alea had a new experience over Christmas with a friend that she hadn't, their child hadn't visited with Alea before, et cetera. So there was a, in public meeting, et cetera, that then led to a sleepover because moms were confident, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, that stuff is there. And we're also, too, if you don't have safe words with your kids, they're not always in a spot where they can tell you exactly what they need, but you
Safe
need.
words with my husband. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you need a pre-agreed to,
Yeah.
like in Four Christmases, mistletoe.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly right.
Mistletoe. Tell us where you're going. It's always been tell us where you're going. In the old days, you might not be there, but that's where you were supposed to be. But now, much easier or more likely to know where they are because of electronics. Homework comes before screens.
But in our situation, we don't have a lot of homework.
We're not having a
So-
lot these days either.
But that's where the chores or the expectations of your practices or your external things that you're doing, your extracurriculars come in. Get that stuff done first, and then you can do whatever.
And then the last one is prioritizing family dinner.
We talked about this a lot.
Yes, sitting down around the dinner table is something we did as a child that we've not done as an adult. But, it's been, the situations have been different with each child as far as the time, the schedule, et cetera, work schedules, when you got two parents working outside the home, et cetera, it's all different. However, as an indicator that it could be a thing of the past, I read a thing this week that to save cost in a lot of new home builds, They are eliminating the dining room.
Yeah. Where everything's all open. Like everything is
Yes.
the kitchen, living room.
It doesn't mean there's not a banquette or a place where people, a breakfast nook or something
Yeah.
that you can gather, but you can just tell the dining room is disappearing in the floor plan of the American home. And I fear, then that's like, well, if we're not going to have a dining room, are we going to go to the trouble of having dinner? So I don't know. Each family has to do it different. We got to get to a break. When we come back, part number 2 of the most anticipated movies of 2026. Straight ahead, you're on In the Know.
At your global getaway, we're all about creating unforgettable journeys. Now's the perfect time to plan your 2026 adventure. Fancy a Royal Caribbean cruise, a Hawaiian escape, or a magical Disney World trip? We've got you covered. As a Royal Caribbean Master of Adventure, we're here for your cruise weddings, honeymoons, and vow renewals. Trust us, you'll be in expert hands. Visit yourglobalgetaway.com and let's make your dreams a reality. Your adventure awaits.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets, and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-961-1527. That's 800-961-1527. 800-961-1527.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Youngblood Excavating Snowplow Team.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll see more sunshine around as we head into this afternoon with highs today in the 50s. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, highs in the 60s, and we'll see rain chances going up Thursday night into Friday. As our next system moves in, we'll keep some of those rain and snow chances in our forecast all the way into the weekend. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know the last letter added to the English alphabet was J? Before 1524, the letter I was used for both the I and J sound. So in the Gutenberg Bible, is Jesus spelled I-E-S-U-S?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Or joy, I-O-Y? Or that's weird when I saw that. I'm like,
Yeah.
So I didn't realize I thought they just threw it all out there at the same time. And then the alphabet, what's the little pasta, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There were no J's in there before 1524.
Have you ever really looked to see if all the letters of the alphabet were in it, though?
No, I've never taken the time.
I haven't either.
I usually eat them too fast.
Same.
The most anticipated movies of 2026, Part 2. We gave you kind of the first half of the year yesterday. On the second half of the year, coming out to June 19th, Toy Story 5.
Oh.
Woody, Buzz, Jesse, and the gang face a new digital age challenge. So basically, they're fighting the PS2s and the...
Okay.
But it's funny, there's been some foreshadowing of this, of them being replaced before, because at the end of the original, it's a puppy, right? Whenever they freak out that they get a puppy.
Yes.
The Odyssey comes out July 17th. That's Zendaya,
I
Robert
would like to see that.
Pattinson, etc.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out on July 31st. That's also Zendaya, and she's busy, because she was in a movie yesterday that we talked about that comes out in the first half. The Social Reckoning is Aaron Sorkin's follow-up to The Social Network. It comes out October 9th. Street Fighter comes out October 16th. The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, comes out November 20th. The fourth film from the Meet the Parents franchise, Fokker and Law, comes out November 25th. Dune, Ariana Grande joins the family in that one. Dune Part 3 comes out December 18th. Avengers Doomsday, December 18th. And Questlove's Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary comes out this year, to be determined. But if it doesn't come out in September, they're doing it wrong.
I know, right?
I mean,
That's
it has to come out
to be in September.
in
And
September.
it needs to come out, yeah, it just needs to come out in September.
I mean, and maybe even the 21st of September would be just fine. Okay. And then Star Search is returning in a reboot on Netflix. Whitney, are you old enough to know Star Search?
I'm familiar with Star Search. I think it was maybe a little before my time, but I remember it. I've seen reruns of it. However, I mean, I guess to me, is that more of a kind of like a play on American Idol?
A little bit. You know, it was the forerunner to most of these talent shows that you find. It ran 83 to 95. It was originally hosted by Ed McMahon. I don't remember them having a celebrity judge panel.
Yeah, I don't either.
In the first run, but Jelly Roll, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Chrissy Teigen, or Teigen, however you pronounce it, are the judges panel, and it's hosted by Anthony Anderson. Now, a list of people that Star Search launched: Beyonce,
yes,
Adam Sandler,
Justin Timberlake too, right?
Britney Spears,
Yep.
Justin Timberlake, Dave Chappelle, Christina Aguilera.
So that's the group of my people that were young whenever,
Yes.
coming up.
And, I mean, the who's who. Sawyer Brown. Famously,
Love Sawyer Brown.
Sawyer Brown got launched to stardom as a result of Star Search. But anyway, it comes back January 20th on Netflix. So, Star Search, Ed McMahon will not be part of it. We got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
What is your top priority for your children? Good grades or good character? Most parents would probably answer good character right away. But research shows your child's academic achievement, well, may be more important to you than you think. In a study conducted at the Harvard School of Education, 10,000 junior high students were asked whether their grades or their character was more important to their parents. 80% of the children said their grades were a topic of conversation much more often than their character. And that should make any parent stop and think. I know it does me. There's nothing wrong with encouraging your children to bring home a great report card. But do you cheer them on when they reach out to a friend who's lonely, or when they show patience toward a younger sibling? Do you tell them how proud you are when they tell the truth, or when they accept responsibility for mistakes? Do you acknowledge when they work hard at school, even if they didn't end up with straight A's? Parents, you have incredible influence in your children's lives. So remember this: kids learn far more from observing your actions than from listening to you. If you only applaud them for their academic performance, they'll learn that's what you value most about them. On the other hand, if you also praise them when they display maturity and kindness toward others, they'll be much more likely to make that a priority in their life. To help your children thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5348.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. We'll do Would You Rather. We're going to do rapid fire Would You Rather. Would you rather spend a summer traveling to every city in Europe or Asia?
I don't know. I'm going to go with Europe.
I think Europe.
Would you rather draw maps for a living or be an archaeologist?
Archaeologist.
Yes.
Would you rather hike every mountain in North America or kayak across all of the Great Lakes?
Ugh. Hike everywhere? Where are we hiking?
Every mountain in North America.
I'm going to kayak.
Damn, I like to hike.
Would you rather spend a month living in a tent in Antarctica or the Sahara Desert?
But
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be uncomfortable, I'd rather be hot than cold.
Me too.
And would you rather sail across the Atlantic Ocean or walk the entire length of California?
Sail the Atlantic.
Sail. Who's walking?
I mean, the coastline of California is pretty. I mean, there's without a doubt. So, but
It'd be like Forrest Gump.
sailing
Yeah.
across would be fine.
I think I'll go home now.
On TV tonight, there are a bunch of new shows returning. You know, after the holiday break, they start rolling back new content. The Masked Singer season 14 premiere on Fox. Hollywood Squares on CBS. On CBS, a series premiere called Harlan Coben's Final Twist. It's a true crime stories expose shocking murders and scandals. There's a Harlan Coben story on Netflix right
There's
now.
several.
Several on there because one's been
He's a pretty famous author.
Expedition X on Discovery season 1 premiere, Alaska State Troopers on A&E, Ozark Law on A&E, Desert Law on A&E, Swamp People on the History Channel.
They do a pretty good job adapting his books
They do?
too.
Okay. Today's highlight in history, this date in 2015, masked gunmen stormed the Paris offices of Charlie Hebdo, a French newspaper that had circulated caricatured Prophet Muhammad. Birthdays today, a healthy list. Kenny Loggins is 78, David Caruso is 70, Katie Couric is 69, John Thune is 65, Rand Paul is 63, Nicolas Cage is 62, Jeremy Renner is 55, John Rich is 52, Lewis Hamilton is 41, Lamar Jackson is 29, and Blue Ivy Carter is 14. Gone but not forgotten, Jacques Montgolfier, the hot air balloon inventor, with his brother, 1745. Our 13th president, Millard Fillmore, born in 1800. Estee Lauder, born in 1908. And Paul Revere, born in 1938. Not the original Paul Revere, the Paul Revere and the Raiders musician. Yeah, Estee Lauder. Let's go to 1946. This is the Freddie Martin Orchestra, and this is called Symphony. Sounds like every other song from 1946. Let's go to 1955. The Ames Brothers.
The naughty lady of Shady Lane.
The Naughty Lady of Shady Lane.
Like a bomb. The back fence gossip.
Scandalous. How about the Kingsmen? Louie Louie, number 1 in 64. All right, let's get some Stevie Wonder into the mix. Let's go to 1973. And Stevie Wonder from the Talking Book album. By the way, I violated superstition on New Year's Day.
What did you do?
I washed laundry,
I did too.
but I didn't know it was a thing until Miss Buckles told me.
I know. Well, I did, but I had to do it was a
I
there was
walked
an-
through and I said, "You
I-
did laundry?"
But I will say I didn't do anything else because I'm kind of like you. We do the whole food thing. We do the dime and the cabbage. We do for good luck. I don't know if y'all know that tradition or not, but our family does it. If you find the dime and the cabbage,
No, I didn't know that.
Good luck.
I told her I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious.
I am
so
too.
it was okay.
Yeah.
Technically, the washing machine washed the clothes. I didn't.
Right.
1982, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Let's Groove. Okay, let's go to 1991. DNA featuring Suzanne Vega and Tom's Diner.
Just to think about another song.
It was hard to escape this song in 1991. It's pretty much everywhere.
There's a riff in it that's in another song that was done later.
There is.
Oh yeah, it's been recycled without a doubt. And in 2000, 26 years ago today, Faith Hill was #1 with "Breathe."
He does not look like that.
2009, Just Dance, Lady Gaga, and 2018, Perfect, Ed Sheeran. Whitney, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Good to see
glad
you.
to be
Come,
here.
come back soon. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says you can tell the greatness of a man by what makes him angry. You can tell the greatness of a man by what makes him angry. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Whitney Carmen, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield.